myself, I don't need your help. On my own wave, I'm some Michael Phelps. My heart hypodermic, it don't ever melt. Hemoglobin frigid, I'm so Winterfell. Got her on her knees like the NFL. Word to Kaepernick, I be raising hell. She's so Catholic, make a genuflect. Your girl eyeing me, wow, the disrespect. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, One Star Weak Foot, and we're back for another Weekend League wrap-up episode. And as you guys know, if you watched my stream this weekend, if you watched some of my prior videos, I used a full African team this entire Weekend League, just for the lulz, just for the fun. I mean, you know, FIFA's kind of dying, so we're trying to keep it interesting. And I get tired of using the same team over and over again, so I use the African team. And as you see on your screen, well, actually, no. This is not the first team I used. For the first 10 games of Weekend League, I used a team where I had this guy starting at striker. And when you look at his stats, they don't look that bad. He has the finishing. He has decent height on him. He has good heading accuracy, good ball control. So he had certain stats that made me want to try him. And I had this guy starting alongside him since they get the strong link. And I did not have him. I also did not have Aubameyang. Everything else was the same. And I was playing the 4-2-3-1, which is a formation I never really liked on this FIFA, despite the fact that it is the best formation in FIFA. And yeah, I did not do that well. I started off my first 10 games 4-6. So at that point, I already knew what time it was. I blew up the team. I sold Diagne. I got rid of this guy off the starting lineup. I bought Mane and I bought Aubameyang, and I finally did a lot better. And let me show you the team I finally, ended up using. Let me remove him. Let me show you the custom tactics, the team, everything I started using. So I went back to my old reliable, the 4-1-2-1-2 with these tactics right here. For depth, pressure on heavy touch, just basic tactics. So the way the team lined up was just like this. I had Aubameyang and Pepe as my strikers. I had Mane as my cam. Matip was subbed out first minute for 91 Ziyech. And then I had Gana Gueye at CDM with Kessie as CM. I had Salah and Aurier as my fullbacks. And then I had Bailly and Koulibaly as my center backs. And the instructions are as you see here. I got getting behind on the strikers. I got the cam on default pretty much. The midfielders are going to be pretty much on cover center. And then the CDM is going to be on cut passing lanes, cover center. The fullbacks are on overlap and balance attacking. And that's exactly how I like my team to play. And if it's not going to be the 4-1-2-1-2, I did like to use the 4-2-2-2 or the 4-3-3-2. But I just can't use the 4-2-3-1. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't work for me. Defensively, it's solid. But offensively, I cannot create anything in that formation. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the way that the players are, are positioning themselves on the pitch. I just can't do it. So I finished off the Weekend League. And you're going to find out when I get into the gameplay how I did in the Weekend League. Honestly, looking at this team, last week I used a full Brazilian team. This week I used a full African team. And this team is a lot worse than the Brazilian team. And in game, it definitely showed. I felt like in pretty much every single one of my games, I was getting out-teamed by a big margin. And it was very difficult, but at the same time, it was fun to have this challenge of coming up against teams that are better than mine and coming up with new ways, new solutions of scoring against overpowered defenders. Because, you got Mane over here, and he's not the best finisher. Well, he actually is a decent finisher. But regardless, he's not the best card. Who are my strikers? You have Aubameyang, who at that stage of FIFA, not the best card. And Pepe, who pretty much was the only real elite tier card on this entire team. And it was really fun to really, do that. The midfield was pretty solid. You have Kessie and Gana Gueye. And at halftime, I would sub on Kondogbia. And I would sub on Onyekuru for Aubameyang. And when I subbed that team on, it was a pretty decent team all around. But still not to the level of everybody else's teams. Defensively, I had Bailly at center back and Koulibaly at center back. And once again, just not at the level that you need to really compete at the higher levels. But at the same time, it was really fun. So yeah, enough talking from me. We're going to jump into the gameplay. Let's get it. All right, so in this part of the video, I'm just going to go over the key performers on this squad. We're going to go over the players that I tried for the first time. And I'm going to let you know exactly how they played for me in games. So, of course, the MVP, the standout player on this team had to be Nicolas Pepe.
Jesus Christ, is that card good. He's one of the best right wingers I've used on this game. Even though I was using him at the striker position, I mean, one of the best attackers I could have asked for on this African team. I played 25 games with him. I got 20 goals and 4 assists. And he really carried my team to multiple wins that I didn't think I was going to get. All right. Pace-wise, you already know he has the pace. His shot is very good. I know he has a 3-star weak foot, but if you get it on his right foot, it's a guaranteed goal. His left foot is actually not that bad. It's not the best. It's not going to feel amazing in game. But if you get it at a good angle, in a good position with his left foot, I wouldn't be scared to shoot it. And the thing that really separates this Pepe from the other Pepes, or from the other good but not great right wingers of this game, is just his whole package, right? He could shoot, he could pass, he has the pace, and his dribbling is on point. Not only that, he's 6 foot tall. He has 82 strength. So he was riding through challenge. He was like, defenders were bouncing off him. He was dribbling around defenders. He was always in the right position to score. And when he got in that position, you already know it was hitting the back of the net. This guy, in my opinion, was worth whatever I paid for him. Let's see. I paid $900K for him. It was definitely worth $900K because this guy was the star of the show, the MVP of my team. And without him, I probably would have struggled to even get above 500. Next player I'm going to talk about here is Aubameyang. Real quick, non-informed Aubameyang is not good enough at this stage of the game. He missed so many sitters. His positioning just wasn't good enough. His medium-low was annoying. Everything about the card was just not up to snuff. And it's disappointing because I did use Aubameyang earlier in the year and he was just so good. At this stage of FIFA, not good enough. The next card I'm going to talk about is Mane. 90 Mane. How was he in game? Honestly, he was not bad as a cam. He did his job. He finished the important shots. He was able to pass and dribble. He was able to offer support offensively. Was he the best card? No. Was he worth $271K that I paid for him? No. But he was very solid. And as far as, chem and building a full African team, he was definitely worth the money because I couldn't really find any better options that would fit on this squad and get me at 100 chem. He was very solid. I played 13 games with him. I got 4 goals, 5 assists, and he was a very reliable player. He wasn't a game changer, but he did his job. The midfield was Kessie and Ganagay, and Kessie was surprisingly solid. He did score a few goals. He got a few assists, but just overall, his physicality, his well-roundedness really helped me out a lot against the Gullits, against the Vieiras, against the Petites, the Blancs of the world. This guy really, actually surprisingly, held his own. And I would say for the 32K I paid for him, I definitely got my money's worth. Ganagay at 17K, honestly, he still was not good enough. He feels kind of like a poor man's Conte, and even non-informed Conte I don't like using at this stage of FIFA. So the fact that Ganagay feels like a poor man's Conte, not quite as good as Conte, I didn't really enjoy the Ganagay card at all. Every time at halftime, I would sub him out for 89 Kondogbia, who was a lot better than him, a lot more impactful with his physicality, his pace, his well-roundedness. He was a lot better of a card than this Ganagay card. It's disappointing because you guys already know I'm a big Ganagay fan. He's going to PSG, and this is the last special card, or the only special card he'll ever get for Everton. It's just not good enough at this stage of FIFA. I think if it came out a couple months ago, it would have been great. The fullbacks were Aurier and Salah, and both of them were actually surprisingly solid. Salah, he has low marking, but the rest of his defensive stats are very good, and in game, he did his job. I was hoping for more goals out of him, but it is hard to score with your fullbacks. He was very good at bringing the ball forward. He was very good at intercepting play, and he had a very solid tackle on him. So, not mad at the card. Is he worth 160K? Probably not, but I did like him at the left back position, and he was pretty solid. Aurier, honestly, is a bargain. 57K for Aurier at this stage of FIFA is pretty good. I did like him just as much as I like Team of the Season Doherty. And that says a lot because Team of the Season Doherty is a Team of the Season card. Aurier is very solid. The only thing I would say was not up to snuff with Aurier was that sometimes he would get called out for pace. 88 pace is solid. It's not that great when it comes to defending the Lozanos, the Onyekuros, the Mbappes, the Neymars of the world that you already know every weekend league squad at this point has. So he did get called out for pace sometimes. When he was in position, his tackle was amazing. Aerially, he's amazing. He's very good at passing, very good going forward. Just a very well-rounded card. The last two things we're going to talk about is our defense and goalkeeper. So our defense was Koulibaly and Bailly. And out of those two, I actually noticed Bailly putting in a good shift. Bailly only cost me 20K. All right. And stat-wise, he's pretty bad. He's 76 pace, 85 defending, 84 physical. And those are stats that are worse than not informed Varane. And in game, he played pretty solid. He was able to catch up to a lot of offensive players I wasn't, thinking he was going to catch up to. His tackle was solid. His positioning was very good. I mean, is he a top-tier defender? No. Did he let me down sometimes? Yes. But for 20K, he was not a bad value. 92 Koulibaly. I paid 68K for him. Was he worth it? I would say yes. I mean, 68K is not that bad. Was he good in game? I would say he was solid. But the number one thing that he let me down with was his agility and balance. He was just so slow to release the ball whenever he got possession that sometimes he would tackle and then he would get dispossessed and I would get scored on. And I couldn't really do anything about it. Even if you're clearing the ball with him, it takes forever. And it's just a liability in terms of playing out of the back. It's a shame because in real life, Koulibaly is one of the best ball-playing center backs in the world. In FIFA, they haven't done him justice at all. It's very disappointing. The goalkeeper, Onana. I've heard really bad things about this guy, but I had to use him because he's the best African goalkeeper. How did he play in game? Well, number one, you already know he's 6'2". He's not a tall goalkeeper, so as far as long shots, he's not good at it at all. There were so many long shots that got scored on me that I felt like if I had a De Gea, if I had a Van der Sar, if I had a Courtois, I would have had a better chance at saving. With that out of the way, though, he was actually pretty solid at everything else. As far as shot stopping inside the box, he was very good. I mean, when you put a basic chem style on him, all his important stats are almost maxed out. And I would say in the box, he's very good. The one thing I really noticed about him is that he's kind of like an Ederson light. All right, he has 75 speed, which is very high for a goalkeeper, and he rushes out. I think he has a trait where he just rushes out because he was rushing out without me even pressing a button, and it was very handy at stopping those through balls behind the defense, especially since my defense was pretty slow. I mean, Koulibaly was my fastest center back, so my defense was kind of slow. I was getting beat by through balls a lot, so I would close the gap there without Onana, and he was very good at doing that. So he was very good at closing the gap. He's very good on the ball. He has 93 kicking, and he's very good inside the box. His long shot ability is pretty bad, and because of that, I found him very annoying to use when it came to defending the long shots or the first-time long shots that a lot of people like to take. But other than that, he was a pretty solid goalkeeper, better than expected, but not quite at the elite category that you want if you're trying to hit elite in this game. So overall, how did I finish? I finished 14-9 this weekend league, which is exactly the same as last weekend league. This weekend league, I feel like I had better connection than last weekend league. Because last weekend league, my team was much better than this. It was much more well-balanced, much more meta, and much more easier to use. This team, I felt like every single game was a struggle, which was good and bad. It was good because every time I won a game, it felt like a huge accomplishment. But it was very frustrating to play in bad gameplay. Luckily, my gameplay was a little bit better this week than last weekend, so I was able to squeak out a 14-9. I think if I pushed it, I could have hit a goal too. I just ran out of time at the end of the day because I was working this weekend, so it is what it is. This weekend, though, I'm off, so I will be playing all 30 games of Weekend League. Let me know in the comment section down below what kind of team you guys would want me to try. I'm thinking about using a full Ajax team. Let me know in the comment section down below if that's a good idea or if you guys want me to try something else. But yeah, this is going to be my Weekend League wrap-up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. But until then, later.